Good morning, folks. How y'all doing? Been a little while since I did an update. Thought I'd do a video this morning and give you an update on how the garden's doing. As you can see, I got my little tomato or vegetable picking vest that my daughter got me. Works pretty good. Put everything down in the pockets and then you can just drop it down and dump it out. Been collecting some tomatoes. This is what I got so far. I picked these this week. I got some more to pick out there. I did a small batch of tomatoes up here beginning of the week that I picked last week. But this is what we got so far. So we'll walk around here and I'll show you what we got going on here. Stuff's growing pretty good, and I finally figured out what was going on with my squash and my cucumbers. Now, I've never had problems up here really with insects. I mean, a little bit here and there. But this year, apparently the squash bugs decided to come and visit. And that's what was killing all my squash and cucumbers. I've been waging war on them for the last week or so. So I'll show you my squash plants, and I've replanted, and we'll see how they do. But starting off here, here's my first batch of beans that I planted. I showed y'all. They're producing. They're not producing real great, but this isn't the best location. They probably need to be out more in the sun. I'll show you this other batch that I did. Now here, if you remember my sunchokes, you can see how tall they are. Well, you see my gutters? I had to cut them back. They were as tall as my gutters, and they were overweighing the buckets that I got them in, and they were threatening to tip them over. So I had to cut the tops off of them so I could keep the balance in the pots there so they didn't fall over. They're still doing okay. One thing you notice, you see some brown leaves here. Well, you see that? That's my dryer vent. These were not strategically located this year, apparently. The dryer vent kind of cooked out some of the leaves right here around the dryer vent. You see the ones down on that end where the dryer vent isn't. They didn't have that problem, but these right here did. So when the wife does laundry and turns the dryer on, well, it cooks some of the leaves. But these are the first time I've ever grown these, so we're seeing what they do and see how they produce. And here you can see my squash. I ripped up most of what I had originally. A lot of these are replants. And as you can see, I got some 7 dust on these. These were all decimated by squash bugs. Like I said, I've never had problems with them before. This is the first year I've seen them. Didn't realize what was going on. So now that I've been waging war on them and killing them off, my plants are starting to come back, and I've replanted all these pots that you don't see anything in. I just put new seeds in yesterday. These were my pea plants. They all died out. I've replanted those. Usually get about 3 plantings of those every year. So that's them. If you remember my little loofah plants, well, these are my loofah plants. Never grown loofahs before. This is a new thing for me. Didn't realize you need a trellis for them because they climb just like cucumbers do. So I've improvised. Got some fencing there that I put up, letting them climb. Still don't have any fruit on them yet. No loofah plants, or fruit. We'll see how they do. These are my potatoes. They're about done, I believe. This is not bug infestation. This is just they're dying off. As you can see, if you look down in here, I'm gonna have to put some more dirt over top of these. These are redskin potatoes. They're growing there. Here's the start of my tomato plants, and you can see I got some red ones in there. Tomatoes are doing really good this year so far. I got multiple different varieties. I got mortgage lifters, Romas. I've got some great whites, which the great whites, I've never had a whole lot of luck with them. But they are producing. They're really slow. I'm not sure if it's the conditions or what it is. I'm going to bring you back here. Here's my sweet potato plants. Now I've already taken 2 cuttings off of these, the tops. These make great greens. You just cut them back and they just keep growing back. There's 4 plants here and they're producing like crazy for the tops. There's one of my banana pepper plants. You can see banana pepper there. This is another one. Try to get you in here. There he is. There, I've picked about 6 or 7 banana peppers so far. They're coming on pretty good. As it gets warmer and later in the year, they'll produce even more. Here's some. Now these are my giant cherry tomatoes. I can them. Also eat them on salad and stuff like this. These are my Rutgers. They're putting out pretty good. Here's some of my Romas. Some more Romas back there. There's another pepper plant back there. I have found, last year, I didn't realize it before, but if you plant jalapenos and banana peppers side by side, they will interbreed. So you'll get a banana pepper every once in a while that ends up tasting like a jalapeno. So be careful with that. If you don't mind it, it's cool. But the problem is when you go using the seeds, you don't know what you're going to get. Here's one of my banana pepper plant, or jalapeno plants. You can see you got some jalapenos there. I've been picking them too. My onions, they're doing their thing. Nothing special. Now these are my bean plants. I showed y'all in the last video that I planted. So these are probably about maybe 3-4 weeks old now. You see they're coming up. They're getting blooms on them. They're going to be starting producing here real soon. So that's what's going on here with the beans. And here's my cucumbers. Like I said, these are still looking pretty rough. But like I said, I just recently figured out what was going on with them, and the squash bugs, they were just tearing the hell out of my cucumber plants too. But since I'm starting to get a hold on them, they're coming back. Got a few, see there's a few little babies in there. They're coming on. I've picked probably about 8 or 10 cucumbers so far. These are some cucumbers that I replanted last week. They're coming up. It's another sweet potato plant. And this is my last cucumber that's growing. It's got good blooms on it. The leaves are staying good. As long as I keep on them and do my due diligence with the stink bugs, we're doing okay there. Here's my last banana pepper plant and my last jalapeno plant. Now I do have these close together. I'm going to need to separate these so they don't start intermingling and making hybrids on me. Which is, I mean, it's okay as long as you understand what's going on with them, but you get a banana pepper tastes like a jalapeno, it's a surprise. And finally, these are my cucamelons. I only had 1 plant this year. I didn't really try a whole lot to plant a bunch of these, but this is what little cucamelons look like. See if I can get it to focus in there. Hi, Tiny. There you go. These are, they also call them sour gherkins. They're a cucumber, but they almost have like a sour taste to them, like a really light dill pickle. They grow prolific. If you have a way for them to climb, they'll climb all over it. By the end of summer, this whole thing will be just covered over like an ivy. And that's kind of what they grow like, as an ivy. But that's what I got for you today. Little long video, I know, but I wanted to show you everything because I haven't posted anything for a while. So if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, open to them. But otherwise, have a good day. See you next time.